Good morning and welcome to a marvelous Monday. The very first announcement is cabin formation are going to be working together this week. So on Friday, February 2nd at 8 p.m. in Stutzley's Lounge, watch Hidden Figures, hear about the contributions African American scientists have made from Devin and Ashley, eat some cookies, and earn 15 CE points.
15?
Yes, 15 CE points.
Yeah.
Next. Are you a writer and want to publish a piece and boost your resume? Enter the ACUT writing contest. There is a $25 gift card for each category winner. Additionally, all of the honorable mentions and along with the winners will be published in the Journal for Writing and Art. Scan the QR code to submit the form and find out the information. Next. So there's some things changing up. RAs will become CAs, community assistants. MAs will be slightly redefined role, and we are creating a new position known as WAs, wellness assistant. All of these positions will work together with a larger group of students as opposed to the current mod system. To be considered for any of these positions for next year, you will need to attend one of these info nights on January 31st and February 1st, or February 1st at 9 o'clock in K160. You will also earn 5 CE points. Next.
Yes. I'm excited to, at the end of this week, we're going to begin Black History Month. Leroy Barber from Portland, Oregon. He is the director of neighborhood economics. He does ministry through economics that are just. He's a dear friend of my husband and mine for about 25 years. Haven't even had time to do this. So here's a crazy thing we're going to do. We're going to do this. On Saturday morning, we're going to Arlington, Kansas, to this little quaint diner called Carolyn's, and he's going to talk with whoever wants to talk to him. So if you would like to talk to Leroy on Saturday morning, watch for an email, sign up, and we'll help with transportation. We're just going to all go be with him. He's going to speak this Friday. He's going to speak on Monday. He's going to be there at Hidden Figures. He's going to preach at Whitestone Mennonite Church on Sunday. We're going to do a lunch and learn with him. There are just a lot of chances for you to see and talk to Leroy, and we hope that you take advantage of that. Yeah. So I'd like to begin our time this morning with prayer. Then I'll introduce Dee Nelson, and then we're going to play a game, and then Dee will speak to us. All right? Let's start with prayer. Lord, thank you for bringing us here to week 4. Thank you for the friends that you have given us. Thank you for our studies, even the difficult things that push us a little bit. Thank you for being with us through the hard times. Lord, I ask that you would strengthen our community. Help us listen to Dee well so that we may be safe and treat each others well. And give us hearts that ache for justice, that ache to bring peace and shalom to everyone we meet. Thank you, Lord. We pray all these things in your name. Amen. All right. Dee Nelson is the Tri-County, that's Harvey, McPherson, and Marion County. That's a lot of territory. Sexual assault program coordinator for an organization called Safe Hope. And she has been in this field doing this work for 24 years. Dee provides advocacy services to the survivors of sexual assault and dating violence, domestic violence, stalking, and human trafficking. And she does that through being trauma-informed services and resources. On a personal note, Dee and I have had several really wonderful, deep conversations, and I know this about Dee. She loves students. She wants students to be safe, and she is willing to stay up all night long sometimes or do whatever it takes to help people be safe. So she deserves your attention, and we're glad to have her there. To kind of set us up, though, and warm us up, because I have a feeling on week 2 that we're a little bit sleepy. We're going to play Minute to Win It. You have to go on either one side or the other. Everybody stand up. Stand up. Stand up. You're going to move. I'm going to show you. You're going to use the move check. Right in this area. Or you're going to move all the way over here to this area. Are you ready? And this is faculty and staff, too. Some of you, you'll have to put down your cell phones. Here we go. Somebody give me a number. 5. I heard 5. Okay. Got to put on my old woman glasses. Here I go. Would you rather, over here, wake up with a snake in your sleeping bag or a spider in your face? Go. Snake in your sleeping bag, spider in your face. Go. Who's going to win? Snake in the sleeping bag, spider. Wow. That's about 50-50. That's about 50-50. All right, from somebody over there, a number. 7. Okay, we're still on the same page. All right. Would you rather see an opera with your friends or a rock concert with your parents? Opera with your friends. Rock concert with your parents. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, all right. Some of you have really cool parents, like my children. Okay, from this side, a number. Give me a big number. 40. Okay. Like I'm even in the 200s and stuff, but I'm going to go to 40. Nope, I got to find it. I got to find it. I got to find it. All right. Okay. Would you rather have your parents say, I love you, or have your parents say, you're right? Ooh, that's a stinker. Woo! I love you, or you're right. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, this is a psychologist's dream. I love you, or you're right. Ooh. Huh? Yeah. This reminds me as a parent of young adults that I need to say I love them more. All right? I got one. Would you rather teach like Jesus or live like Jesus? Teach like Jesus or live like Jesus? Teach like Jesus, live like Jesus. I'm going to take one more number. What is it going to be? 247. Okay, all righty. Here it is. Ooh! Oh, this is a music one. Here we go. Would you rather have perfect pitch or perfect rhythm? Perfect pitch or perfect rhythm? Perfect pitch, perfect rhythm. I would have never thought about that one. Yeah, perfect pitch, interesting, perfect, about even. All right. Here comes your last one, maybe the best one yet. This is a very important one to think about. My friends, this is a real life one. Would you rather visit with D. Nelson and talk about ways to be safe, or see D. Nelson after something tragic or bad has happened? Meet with D. Nelson, in a sense, beforehand and talk about ways to be safe, Or visit with Dee after something really terrible's happened. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'm here to tell you something, friends. I'm here to tell you something. That is a very real would you ever, and you have those. That's a great choice for you to make. Give yourselves a great big hand for yourselves and Dee as she comes up.
I'll give you guys a second to get seated. That was awesome for me to see, I must say. So as she told you, I am a sexual assault program coordinator, but I am also a 24/7 advocate who gets called out in the wee hours of the morning to go assist a sexual assault victim. And so I'm just going to share with you all, I was called out at 9:08 last night in the evening, and I did not return home until after almost 4:30 this morning. And I still got up to come see you guys today. So that's how important you guys are to me, okay? So I want to get that out there. I know what I have to say is a tough conversation, and people don't always want to listen to it. They want to just tune it out because it affects us all. And it affects us in different ways. And it's very complex, it's very heavy, and I apologize if some of you don't really want to hear it, but my job is to make sure that you understand that there are avenues to safety, and that goes for guys and girls, okay? So I always want to be proactive instead of reactive. How many of you want to be proactive versus reactive? I agree. So I'm going to, part of my job is changing the culture, and it's trying to get people to understand that it's okay to say no, huge, and it's my understanding that no means no in every language. Did you know that? Every language, it's the same. No is also a complete sentence by itself, no, okay? No can take on different ways to say it. I don't want to. Please stop. There are all different ways that you could say no, right? Do we all agree with that? Okay. So changing the culture means getting out there and speaking to people so that they understand you have rights in the state of Kansas, and those rights are taken very seriously by those of us who work in this field. Okay? So another way to look at it, and this is what I want you to do. I want all of you to look around the room and look at the people sitting next to you and realize that statistics are against you. Statistics are against women and statistics are against men. Does anybody know why I'm saying that? Anybody? What if I threw out 1 in 3? Anybody know what that means? 1 in 3 victims, 1 in 3 women will be a victim of a domestic crime in her lifetime. Okay? 1 in 5 women will be the victim of a sexual assault in her lifetime. 1 in 7 men will be the victim of a sexual assault in their lifetime. Okay? So those are the stats I deal with. And those are the, as I like to say, those are the rungs on the ladder that I have to climb all the time to try to stay at the bottom so my feet are on the ground so I'm not fighting that. So I want to tell you guys a story. I have 2 granddaughters and they're college age, they're in college, and they're both on a bowling team for the college. And one of my granddaughters was at a practice, and the boys and the girls practiced together, and a young man on the bowling team made a comment that he liked it when she bent over because he could see up her shorts. And when she wore her bowling uniform, when she bent over to throw her bowling ball, he could see up her skirt. Well, she didn't like that, and she stood up to him. And his harassment went from what he thought was an innocent comment to something that became a little bit more serious, because then he didn't get the response he needed from her. And so he started saying rumors around the campus about her and the baseball team. Okay? And it spread. Well, she has the benefit of having a grandmother who's an advocate. And so my first advice to her was go talk to your Title IX person and make a complaint. She went to Title IX. She filed her complaint. It went to mediation, and they sat down, and it was the boys in question, and there were several of them, and her, and a couple of the other girls on the bowling team. And the mediator, in doing all of this investigation and talking to them in the mediation, he asked them all to put their keychains on the table. So all of them put their keychains on the table. Now, what are our keychains? What do we have on our keychains? We have the keys to our house, the keys to our cars, keys to our dorm rooms. They're like our safety net, right? They let us into places that we feel are safe, right? He had them put them out on the table. And he asked the young men, he said, what do you notice different about her keychain from your keychain? And immediately one of the boys popped up and said, well, she doesn't have any college bling on her keychain. Okay. He asked a couple of the others, pretty much the same response. Then he turned to my granddaughter and said, why don't you tell them what's different about your keychain? And she looked at them and she said, I carry mace on my keychain for my safety. And one of them had the audacity to giggle. He thought it was quite funny. And she proceeded to let him know, as a woman, a young woman, why she carries mace. And she let him know that every day of her life is spent worrying about her safety. She doesn't walk by herself. She doesn't go to classes after dark by herself. She walks back to her dorm by herself. She checks her car. She watches. You know, it's women's safety. She lives it every day. And her description of her daily life literally made one of these young gentlemen that made these wrong comments break down in tears, because he never looked at it from someone else's vantage point. Okay? So what I want you to know is really important. Young ladies, it's very important that you protect yourself. Okay? Know your surroundings. Know who you're talking to. Social media, since COVID happened and people became locked down in their homes, and we became such a internet-friendly society, that has changed the aspects, because human trafficking has skyrocketed, and it's all being done through social media and online. So be careful who you're talking to online. When you're in a situation, please know that you can always ask for help. There are places to go. One of the places that I'm getting ready to partner with over in Newton is they're building a new Quick Trip. How many of you knew that? Did anybody know that Quick Trip is a safe place? I got one back there. Does anybody know what that means? Quick Trip is a safe place because domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking victims can go there, let the staff know that they need a safe place, and they can hide them within the Quick Trip and call for help. Isn't that awesome? Quick Trip. So what I wanted to come here and talk about was to let you know that I'm on campus one day a week on Tuesdays in the student life office. I have a little office in there. But I don't work for the college. Everything that you talk to me about is confidential. It does not go back to the college. I don't report to the college. Unless this is an instance where you would sign a release for some reason, it's confidential between us. So I just want you to know that coming to me, it goes no further. I don't take notes. I don't get subpoenaed into court. It is just between us, okay? I do have a safety plan that I created for sexual assault victims or people on campus, just ways for you to learn how to be safe. So just knowing that you have a safe place. So consider my office a safe place here on campus, okay? If something happens to you, I am dispatched 24 hours a day. So an RA can call our 1-800 number and I can be here in a flash, okay? Get that, everybody? 24 hours a day. So you have all these choices. So the main thing that I want to talk about is we only get one body, right? So at my age, there's parts about me that I wished I could go to a body dealership and say, can I get a new model? Because I don't really like this one anymore. It's not working for me. It's starting to fall apart. But that doesn't happen. We only get one. And that one, we need to treat that one that we have like it's our temple. It's our church. So by saying that, I want you all to think about consent. How many of you have seen the video, Consent is Like a Cup of Tea? Okay? Well, I like to think of it more, I like that video. It says it all. But I like to think of our bodies as our temples. And this being my temple, I am the only one that can say when there's church services, what kind of church services I'm going to have. And I'm also the one that can say my church is closed, okay? And just because I had church services yesterday with someone doesn't mean I want to have them today, okay? So that kind of puts that in that perspective. The young men in the room, you also have the same thing. That's your church. That's your body. Protect it. Because for the young men, a lot of times, they're on the opposite side, okay? I do have male victims. I do want you to know that. But men don't report like women do. And crimes against women are really high. That's why we have the Violence Against Women's Act. But males can be victims. But the biggest victims that you guys can become is if you cross a line with a young woman and she says no, or she doesn't want to do what you want to do, there's no coming back from that, okay? It will be with you the rest of your life. You all know what a registered sex offender is, correct? Okay? That will determine what you do going forward in your life, okay? So always keep that in the back of your mind. Is it worth the chance of me not being able to come back from that? And for the young ladies, it's more, you guys have the right to say no. But if you are a victim, please come see me. Please let someone know. Speak up and speak out. Because if it's a pattern and it's someone that's doing it to multiple people, I don't want to say you need to because you can stop them, because it's kind of an old cliche. But is it worth letting someone else go through what you did? Right? So the biggest thing is when someone comes to see me, I believe what you say. I don't question you. I don't interrogate you. I am not law enforcement, but I am trauma informed. And so coming to me and speaking to me, and it can be something that happened to you in your childhood that is affecting you now. It could be something that happened when you were in high school and it's affecting you now. Those things I can still talk to you about, okay? So please, I just ask, my door's open. Jose knows how to get a hold of me. Please, please, please reach out. Does anybody have any questions for me? Yes. Well, Tuesdays from 1 to 3 are my office hours, but as you know, Jose, I will make an appointment to come onto campus to meet with someone. And I will meet with you off campus if you are not comfortable. I do meet with a lot of students at the coffee shop here in town. I've met with them in the park. Anywhere that you want to meet that you feel safe, I'll meet with you. So.
What if there are the possibilities of, what if I'm afraid of getting in trouble? Can I still talk to you? What if I'm afraid of you getting, what if I'm afraid of negative consequences? I'm breaking the code of ethics of Hesston College. Can I still talk to you?
I am confidential. So when you come to me, I don't report back to the college. So that is taken off the table right then and there. Now, if it's a case where, let's say that it needs to be reported to Title IX, I'm going to encourage you to go to the Title IX department and make a report, but I can't force you to do it. You have a choice, okay? And in the state of Kansas, and I will throw this out there for the young ladies, women have 3 choices if they're a sexual assault victim. One is do nothing. One is just go about your life and try to live with what's happened to you. 2 is you can go to the police, you can make a report, and you can go have a sexual assault exam done and have the evidence collected and go through with prosecution and all of that. Number 3 is you can have a SANE nurse. With my help, I would take you, you can have the SANE examination done, and that evidence is collected just like it would be for the other person, but they have police involvement. You don't have to have police involvement, and it goes to Topeka, and it is stored for 20 years. Okay, it used to be 5, but they changed it to 20. Is that working?
Yeah, I do want to, I'm also as a campus pastor, really do want to encourage you, talk to Dee before anything bad happens. Talk to Dee so that this campus can be as safe and as caring for each other as it possibly can be. But if something bad does happen, Dee is our person to see. Right. Any last chance for a question?
Usually people ask me, why do you do this job?
Yeah.
Is anybody interested in why I do this kind of work? Is that a yes? Well, most advocates, most women like myself and men, but most women, there's a reason that we do this, because somehow, some way, domestic violence or sexual assault has touched our lives, and there probably wasn't the response or the dedication to it. And so it's just God sent me to do this, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. And I do it, so. And I can't promise, this is the biggest thing, I can't ever promise a sexual assault victim that they're going to get justice, or that it's going to go all the way through the trial process and he's going to go to prison and blah, 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 all the way down the line. What I can promise is I will still be there standing. No matter the outcome, I'm still going to be there, okay? And an average sexual assault, does anybody, this is a trivia question I'll throw out to you. Does anybody know the average amount of time it takes for a sexual assault case to go through the whole process? How many of you have ever watched like SUV? The TV show SUV, right? They get the crime solved really fast, don't they? And usually have an outcome really fast, because they got to pack that into an hour show. Well, I can tell you that the average is between 1 to 2 years. 1 to 2 years for the outcome. And during that time, employers will only give, or the person that's in the case is only allowed 8 days to miss work for things having to do with that case. So there's a little protection, but not a lot. Well, thank you for letting me come and speak. And I hope that if you have any questions, you'll come see me.
All right, attendance, and we'll see you on Friday.